Welcome back to the second part of the Read to Achieve PowerPoint for principals and staff. At the end of the last video, we were discussing the student portfolio. We will now conclude Component 4 by examining the third grade retention flowchart. The following document is a version of the third grade end of grade flowchart to determine promotion standards. At the end of the school year, third grade student will take the end of grade test in reading. If they are proficient, they would thus be promoted to the fourth grade. However, if they are not proficient on the end of grade third grade test, you will determine if the student has a good cause exemption. We discussed the good cause exemptions previously in this PowerPoint. If they do meet good cause exemptions, they would thus be promoted to fourth grade. If they do not, they'd be re-administered either the end of grade test or the Read to Achieve test. We will be determining that process at the district level and will communicate that to you later. If the student passes either one of those assessments and they are proficient, they would then be promoted to the fourth grade. If not, they'd be enrolled in summer camp. Please note, enrollment in summer camp is a decision of the parent. If the choice is not to enroll in the summer camp, the student is retained to a third grade classroom. That will be critical when we get to the end. If the child does attend the summer reading camp, they will take the Read to Achieve test and or the student portfolio over the summer. If they are proficient, they would thus be promoted to the fourth grade. If not, they will be receiving a label of retained in third grade. However, if the student does attend summer camp and is still not proficient based on the indicators we just discussed, the child would move with his or her peers to the fourth grade, but would have a label of being retained in the third grade. The next component talks about what happens when a student who has been retained by label moves on to the fourth grade year. But again, please note, if a child does not attend summer camp, they would go back to a third grade classroom. If they do attend summer camp, they would go on to a fourth grade classroom, either in a 3-4 combination class or an accelerated reading class. And we'll talk about that in greater detail in the next component. We have now come to Component 5 of the Read to Achieve Law, Successful Reading Development for Retained Students. So a student in your classroom did not show proficiency in third grade in reading. The first major decision for a parent is to determine if that child will attend summer reading camp. As we discussed previously, if the parent does not want the child to attend summer reading camp, then that child will be retained in a third grade classroom. This decision is completely up to the parent. However, and this is critical, if a student attends summer reading camp, they will move to the fourth grade with specific stipulations. We will discuss the process next. If a student attends summer reading camp, it will last 6 to 8 weeks, meeting 4 to 5 days per week with a minimum of 3 hours a day in instruction in literacy. Teachers of the summer camp will be selected using data to identify the most qualified teachers in the district. Teachers who have a proven track record in teaching reading to students. At the end of the summer reading camp, students will take the Read to Achieve assessment again or show proficiency through continued work on the student portfolio. Please note the decisions as far as how long the summer camp is, the number of days a week the camp is, and the length of the camp, and which teachers will be selected are still being determined at the district level. Once that information has been finalized, it will be communicated to the schools. So what happens if one of your students attends summer camp and they still do not show proficiency based on the information we provided you already? They will have the label of being retained in third grade, but they will be placed in a fourth grade class. There will be two types of classes. One is a third grade / fourth grade combination class, where there will not be any typically aged third grade students. It will be other fourth grade students who did not meet proficiency and fourth grade students who did thus the name 3-4 combo class. This choice of a 3-4 combo class is unlikely for the district. The other choice and the more likely choice is attending an accelerated reading class, which is a 90-minute uninterrupted reading class intended to remediate skills from 3rd grade, but also provide instruction on 4th grade standards. Teachers of the 3-4 combination class or the accelerated reading class will be high-quality teachers selected based on ability to teach reading. Students in the middle of their 4th grade year will have the option of taking the Read to Achieve assessment or completing the reading portfolio for a mid-year promotion. A mid-year promotion would simply mean that the child's label of being retained in 3rd grade would be removed. Regardless, students who attended the summer reading camp at the end of the following year, even if they have not met the standards, would take the 4th grade end of grade test. Principals would then determine, based on the standards they've always used, if that student would be promoted to the 5th grade or be retained in the 4th grade. Principals, if you have additional questions on promotion standards at the end of the school year for students who still have the label of being retained in 3rd grade, please contact Dr. Mark Tracy. We have now come to Component 6, Notification Requirements to Parents and Guardians. For all kindergarten through 3rd grade students, schools must provide in writing notification if a child is reading below grade level. Schools will use the M-Class assessment system as well as other data points to determine if a student is or is not on grade level. For students who are below grade level, they must receive a Personalized Education Plan or a PEP. Parents will be made aware of the plan in writing and will be a part of the development and implementation of said plan. Though this is part of the Read to Achieve law, this is also school board policy. Another aspect of the parent and guardian notification is that at the end of a student's 3rd grade year, if that student does not pass the end of grade test, the Read to Achieve assessment, or successfully completed the portfolio, the parental unit must receive in writing the notification of retention. In that notification, the parent will be informed the child did not meet good cause exemptions, what interventions were used to support the student during the school year, which will be taken from the PEP, and what are the next steps, be it retention in the 3rd grade, summer reading camp, 3-4 combination class, or accelerated reading class. For students who are retained, the following year, parental units must receive a monthly report informing them of their child's progress in the area of reading. That form is still being developed at the district level, and once that has been completed, it will be provided to teachers. Please note that this process will not start until the 2014-15 school year after the summer. We have now come to the last component of the Read to Achieve law. It is Component 7, Accountability Measures. At the end of the school year, Durham Public Schools must report to the Board of Education and make available to the general public the number and percentage of students who passed the end of grade test in 3rd grade, the number and percentage of students who passed the Read to Achieve assessment, and the number and percentage of students who received a good cause exemption. In turn, the Durham Board of Education will report this information to the State Board of Education, and the State Board of Education will report this information to the state legislation. This concludes the PowerPoint on Read to Achieve law. As I mentioned earlier, there are some components that are still being developed at the district level. Once we have the information, it will be shared with building level leaders and classroom leaders. If you have specific questions about the Read to Achieve law, please contact your principal and/or Mark Tracy at Central Office. We in Durham Public Schools are excited about the new law because we agree with North Carolina Department of Public Instruction and the state legislation that it is critical that all exiting third grade students are able to read at a high level. We hope that you take this cause on as well. Thank you and have a great day.